1-0 to Lee Clough. Was that a breaking dish, Wayne?
It was indeed.
Was it?
Yeah. Don't get many of them. He was moaning about that as well. He likes to moan now and again, especially when it comes to the break.
Is this what your little numbers are for, don't you? For your dishes or not? Or is that just...
It is, but I'm not going to mess about
Fair
with
enough.
it. Yeah. Well, it's not that. They've got to do it over there.
Ah, right, okay.
Well, I can do it from here, but...
Don't break something that's not broken.
Yeah, just leave it at that for now. It's simple enough. Get used to it first. It's a new system I've got.
I thought it looked a bit different.
Yeah,
like the graphics and stuff. Or
It's mainly I'm going to be using it for the tours because I can link up as many tables as I want. Obviously, you can see what I've got here. Yeah. It's all singing, all dancing. When it's
not got enough screens, mate. I did about 10 screens here.
I know, I need some more screens. But yeah, it tells you.
You've got square eyes better than the weekend.
Oh yeah, it tells you all the table that's in play if you have more than one table.
Yeah.
And you can assign the main scoreboard to any table that's in use as well. So just flash around the table.
That's a great break.
It is, isn't it? I think you'd be looking at them yellows from here, don't you?
Potted 2 reds, but I think it's got to be yellow, isn't it, from there? I think this could be 1-1 from here, to be honest with you. The only ball awkward is maybe the one in the middle of the 3 on the left-hand side in the black.
James Comport's asking if any... so it was Philip Bennett is asking if any big names I've got. I'm not too sure, really. There's quite a few big names still left in it, so...
I believe we've got a world champion playing in this competition.
Who's that?
World champion trick shot master Wayne Smith.
Oh, he's in it?
He is, yeah. He beat Kyle Brown.
In fact, I just realised that's who Lee Anderson was on about before, and he's got somebody else. He's had 2 toughies on the trot.
Right. I
can't remember who he's got next. I think he's not long since being shouted out again.
Yeah, I didn't hear. Oh, the red stayed up and he's missed the yellow.
James Comport's asking if I've got the result. I don't. If it's not on...
is there anything to do with Q-score this weekend or not?
No, it's all on the internal one, but it's not internal anymore. It's external as well, but they only put the results up, obviously, for the teams. It gets updated once the sheets have gone in. Obviously, the top tables still work off draw sheets.
I know Graham Robinson does a lot of the work on it now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, with a team event, it's different because they come in result slips and they get passed from one to the other. But with the singles, they get done on these draw sheets like they've always done. And Colin and Dudley, they won't let them out of the sites until the competition's completed because that's the only copy they've got. So, and that's the only reason. So, to be honest, I don't really know. I couldn't tell you. Good evening, James. Brutal Jimmy.
So Lee's, without even meaning to, Lee here, he's got full control of this frame. He's not even had a shot in this frame yet, and he's already controlling it.
That does him, really. It's out in the open. Yeah, and I don't think a couple of years ago when I did the scoring system for Rob, it did work okay, getting up to date frame scores and in all the events. But with the system being linked up to the website now and all automatic on the top table, it's a little bit more logistically harder to do frame scores. The competition itself is far too big to be having tablets and stuff like that at the tables. They just get damaged in no time.
Oh yeah,
like animals. Some of them.
Unfortunately, I think go missing as well sometimes.
Yeah. So
that's obviously what you don't want, but
although it's not fully frame by frame updatable, it is a great system that is built for the competition, and you can actually see all the scores, all the results from
to be fair,
underneath the top table.
Year it's progressing, and you can see it building and building and building, and it's just coming up to I know it's always been in that century sort of thing, but it's always getting that one step ahead of other competitions.
Yeah, yeah. People knock it for whatever reasons, and we know that. And
The format's not
but I don't
the
think they
best in the
realise.
world, but
Yeah, they don't realise
what
what
do you
goes
want
into it.
for your value for money for teams that is generally a pub sport and they want pub teams playing in it?
Was you playing this afternoon?
Yeah, sorry, this morning we started.
Was you not in this afternoon?
What for, mate?
In the room? Was you not in the arena this afternoon?
I left the arena after we finished about half
Did you?
two-ish.
Oh,
Yeah.
you missed it. You missed it.
Go on.
Well, just look at the videos that Shannon's put on and some of the streams that
All
they've
right.
saved. Absolutely banging atmosphere in here this afternoon.
Was it?
Yeah, the music.
I
the tunes
noticed
that was
it
on
went
the
up a
jukebox.
bit louder. Yeah.
Yeah, the tunes that went on the jukebox. Everybody in the room was singing to him.
Is there an actual
It was-
jukebox this year? I've not seen it yet.
Well, not jukebox.
Or
No, it was
some guy playing
yeah,
tunes. Some
iPad or whatever it is.
plastic DJ.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, I know
there
what you mean, but
they were banging.
Yeah.
It was really everybody was getting involved.
someone before put that jump around song on, and all the room started bouncing. Jump around, jump around, jump up, and get down. All room like that. Funny. But yeah, this morning obviously everyone was a bit quiet and a bit tired, if you will, from night out in Blackpool maybe.
Yeah.
But I think everyone was a bit three sheets to the wind this afternoon. So there's a little better atmosphere, and like you said, it was bouncing.
Yeah, it was good. James is asking about John Sullivan. He's not here this weekend. For some reason, he's not come. He came with a broken hand or something last year.
Yeah, he did put something on Facebook saying why he couldn't come. I think it's his daughter's birthday or something like that.
Well, it must be his daughter's birthday every year this time.
Yeah, he's something big on, like a big do or a big birthday or something like that. I might be wrong in what I'm saying, but I'm sure there was something that he'd mentioned why he couldn't come this time.
Yeah, he's been on the Thursday money match night 2 years on the trot, and what a crowd he drags.
It's
Entertainer as well.
It's inevitable if John Sullivan's here. There's a money match on Thursday.
But we've got others, like Terry Hunt's made an appearance this weekend. He's a legend as well.
I don't know him personally.
Do you not? Oh, he was absolutely awesome at the old EPA rules.
Right.
Awesome player. One of the top players in the country. Always there or thereabouts at the final stages of tournaments 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Brilliant player.
I've heard the name, don't get me wrong, I've heard the name.
Oh, Philip Bennett said there's something about his son was fighting. Is he a boxer or something? His son?
What's that, sorry?
Philip Bennett said something about his John's
right,
son
that's
fighting.
John, right, that might be why then. I knew there was something going on, I was obviously getting mixed up or mixing up with something else, but I know he mentioned that something was happening this weekend, like his first fight or something, so you can't miss it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You can
So
understand
I
that.
presumed it was like a first birthday or something, but I've obviously read it wrong. And
should be free for Blackpool. Jonathan, I understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, prize money's got to come from somewhere.
What's he saying? Sorry, what should be free?
I think he's on about his wristband.
Right.
If he plays in singles.
Right, fair enough. Lee's come a bit further than he wanted to on this wall. He's not so keen on that shot. Drops his shoulders a little bit.
Just develops this.
Oh, I think he wanted that white right behind the black, didn't
he was trying that, I think.
Ideally.
Wasn't a bad effort.
To be fair, that would have been a great shot. These cloths are absolutely ridiculously fast, though.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic as well. The speed and the reactiveness of the cloths this year have been second to none. But very hard to get used to. If you're not playing them all the time and you don't have a practice on them, it takes you a good couple of frames to get used to them.
But that's how these Ainsworth match cloths should be.
Yeah. So what's the difference between the match and precision?
To be honest with you, I don't really know. Obviously,
is one a bit faster or thinner or less nap or what?
I don't know.
I don't even know. That's why I'm asking, mate.
Rob's the man to ask.
Yeah, true.
He's
I know they use precision, or they did do.
Obviously, it's a different
the
grade.
international competitions, but
Yeah.
I think they've gone to blue cloth now.
Good evening, Phil. Nice to see you on the chat, watching the stream. Actually, the first frame wasn't too bad. In fact, I'll tell you how long it took. It took exactly 5 minutes for Lee to break and dish. Well, actually, it was just under 6 minutes, which is
Yeah, Ronnie's had a 147 in that time.
yeah, which is quite a long time when you think about it. But considering the length of some of Lee's games,
5 minutes 20 for a 147 or a break and
yeah.
dish from Lee Clough.
5 minutes 53 it took him to break and dish. So
Well, that's ridiculous. If you think about it like that, Ronnie O'Sullivan's had a 147
sick that,
in less time than it took Lee
What,
to
7
clear
balls?
a table. It's put 8 balls.
Well, 7 balls after the break. He's broke off. One's gone in, so
true,
he's got 7 to do. 7 balls. It's unbelievable.
What was it, that fastest 147? 5:20 or something? Something like that, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the fastest one in the
Yeah.
match. In a match, I think Drago's had one quicker than that.
Well, we don't mention that name around here, do we?
No, Drago. I never mentioned Drago. He tuned in earlier on. I was because I had a problem with Facebook had blocked my audio.
Is that to do with the sound, the music?
Normally they take you straight off, but they hadn't. They didn't today. The audio was blocked. There was no audio coming out of Facebook, but yeah, I was streaming live to YouTube at the same time, and there was audio on there, so it must have been something to do with Facebook.
Right, fair enough.
And so I streamed it to my name, my own personal page,
Well, apparently, someone
just to
said,
test it, and Drago tuned in.
I don't know how true this is, but someone said the other day, if you're going live, like for a match or you're streaming something, if you put on the link or in the comments, if you will, before you go live, that
This is not part of the.
this is not part of.
It's a load of rubbish.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Right.
because there's not going to be somebody sat there for every live stream
Oh, no.
reading all the
Yeah,
comments
yeah.
as whether to turn it off or not. Now, there's software that detects certain
Right,
notes and tunes and
fair
what have you,
enough, yeah, yeah.
and that's how it's done.
Copyright.
Yeah, they've just got software now. It's clever stuff that just detects the certain notes in certain orders.
Right, fair enough. Where's that white gone? I can't see where the white's gone. It's not too bad there, to be fair. You might be able to play the one on the left-hand side of the table as you look, and come across for the red in the middle,
Yeah,
into the left middle. Just natural angles come back across the table.
he's not got a big gap to get through. He's going to have to be.
Do you think Lee wanted to play a skill shot there in the next shot when he screwed back then?
It might well do because it is a skill shot opportunity.
Yellow's far enough over, isn't it?
Just answering Tom's question, it is on YouTube, Tom. Just
Wonder if Lee plays this now, coming back across the table. Plays the red into the left middle. It's come somewhere near the yellow. It's come across.
he's checked it. He's
It's a
played it.
good shot, that.
He's-
Great
in
shot.
fact, he's going to nudge the black over to this pocket as well.
Yeah, it's played it a bit too well, if anything.
Yeah.
A bit further away from the cushion would have been absolutely ideal, but he might even be able to stun down and play the black into the corner he's just potted the red into. Yeah, I think he can just jab his cue up and
Yeah, he hasn't got enough angle, I don't think.
stun down a little bit. Ooh.
Just a bit too firm on it. Worked
Just
quite
pinching a bit in the
bank
pocket. His middles are very
yeah.
tight.
Went quite bank centre.
Big chance now for Glencrook. Who's posting essays here? What's going on? Jonathan Haslam.
Yeah, I really don't get the argument, Jonathan, obviously because I run competitions as well. And like I say, you have to get the prize money from somewhere. And it's not fair that somebody that's paying the package, which obviously some of that package goes towards prize funds. It always has done from day dot in pool and snooker competitions.
Yeah, definitely.
So
As well,
there's no reason why
the
they
entry
should
fee
pay it
yeah.
and feed it, and not somebody that doesn't want to stay in the hotel. That's
yeah,
what.
the entry fees and the like the Visitor entry fees as well.
If you was actually part of a team, it'd cost you, what is it for the Bapto? Is it 75 quid a team?
£100.
£100 for a team?
Yeah.
20 quid a man.
Yeah.
So there's your 20 quid a man there, and that includes your wristband as well, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. Yeah.
So really, you're getting a free wristband if you put a team
Yeah,
in.
that's how they put it out there, don't they?
Yeah.
Everyone gets a free wristband if you're playing in a team. £20 each. You're
Exactly.
paying that anyway.
So if you know,
But if a person doesn't stay in the hotel,
it's 20 quid.
it's 20 quid. It's not. Sorry, it's 40 quid
Is it?
to play and
All right. Yeah. For the weekend.
in the competition.
Yeah.
For your wristband as well, it's 40.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's what I mean. Yeah, 20 quid for the
If you're
wristband.
only a spectator, it's 20.
So it's not really out of the way, especially if you're coming expecting to win some money out of the competition.
But as well, I know obviously this is a massive competition now, and I remember years ago when it used to be in Rill.
I remember years before that when it was in Blackpool Tower.
Oh, you're younger than me, Wayne.
Dave Chalmers and Kevin Harris, who's here today, both was in one of my teams, and Cloughie. We was favourites to win that year when them three was in the team, and you'll not know Ewan Raffin, he was in the team as well. I've got a video of it at home somewhere, a little camcorder, big VHS camcorder. So yeah, we was favourites to win it that year, but we fell short at the last 16 stage. But Cloughie was only about 18. In 1991 it was, so he's about 18, Cloughie.
Oh, he's gone for a cut there. Oh.
He's a bit ambitious.
He's put all his eggs in one basket there, and he's gone for it. Knowing if he gets it, he's got half a shot on the black. Is Glenn going to maybe tie up, or is he going to go for this now, do you reckon?
He might have a bash at these.
To be fair,
there's no reason why he shouldn't do.
After that first shot, he's going to go for him, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not seen Mr. Munro this year. He's usually here, Mr. Steve Munro.
I haven't seen him.
Usually comes down for Bapto.
Yeah, I ain't seen him for a couple of years, I don't think.
I think he's living Leeds way now, I think, as well. He wasn't up in Cumbria that way on, but I think he's over in Leeds now.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Jonathan. But you know, it's always been the case. It's like when teams go down to Yarmouth, somebody living in, 5 mile outside Yarmouth, don't want to be paying for caravan fees and things like that. But it's compulsory for everybody, you know.
Yeah.
And one reason is to make sure that you're at your tables on time.
Yeah. To be fair, it's sort of
not holding the
agree
competition
to disagree with Jonathan what he's saying there.
Yeah.
You're not going to pay 60 quid to come in, get a wristband and enter the singles, are you? But
Philip's asking a question. Who won it in 1991? I don't know. I really don't know. I think Steve Saunders won the singles that year, to be honest. I'm sure he was winning it nearly...
91, I was 2-year-old.
Yeah. He was winning it nearly every other year, I know that. Yeah, I think he was one of the main men in Bapto, Steve Saunders.
That's why we've got a bit of a break, Wayne. I'm just going to nip to the little boys' room.
Yeah, no worries. So 1-1 it is. Lead to break. This is best of 5 match. Best of 5 all the way through to the final. I think it is Bapto singles, which is why it's very hard to win. Normally along the races, the better player always prevails. But this is anybody's, and Lee's, look, he's laughing at that one because he knows that wasn't the best of breaks. I was watching him break the other day, and he doesn't. I might have a word with him later. He doesn't stay down on the shot. He actually jumped up when I saw him breaking yesterday. So he didn't actually put his full weight behind the shot, which is what he needs to do. He needs to learn to stay down on the shot while he's breaking. Yeah, well, I don't know, Jonathan. Maybe next year try and get some lads together. It's only going to cost you 20 quid a piece then, and event. Obviously, it's not going to cost you for the wristband, but you've got two chances then. Obviously, it's going to cost you another 20 quid for the singles, but at least you've got two hits, the team event and the singles as well. It's just unfortunate the way it is, but that is the way it is. I don't think Keith Brewer was. I'm not too sure. I don't think he was playing Bapto rules back then. I don't remember him playing Bapto rules. And if I remember rightly, I think Linda Moffat, or Linda Ledbetter as she's now known, she won the ladies singles that year. Lynette Osbury, that was her. I think that would have been her first year entering it. Obviously a big snooker player in them days. See you later, Dean. I can turn it up a little bit more, Kevin, but obviously, as you appreciate, the music and the copyright is they're a little bit harsh with it. They didn't turn me off today. They actually muted the sound on the Facebook Live because it was fine on YouTube. So yeah, I do remember Sue was actually at the same event in '91 when I had the team in McCluffy and Chalmers and Kevin Harris. But I'm sure she got beat that year by Linda Moffat or Linda Ledbetter. Yeah, if you put it through your TV, get it on YouTube, turn your volume up, and you'll be right. You can hear us. I can get it louder. I was risking it earlier on when they had certain tunes on. The room was absolutely banging in here. Everybody was singing and dancing. Unbelievable scenes. I did ramp it up a little bit just so the viewers could listen to it, but can't do it for too long. Won't have your fare. So anything's better than nothing. Oh, chill it. Good evening, Mark. Seb Webb on fire. Well, less said about him, the better, Kevin. I just think he's so disrespectful. He's a pool player, he's a competition player, and he has a go at competition and organisers. But yet, the last competition he ran, he took £900 out of the entry fees to pay for admin costs. So I don't think he's got any room to talk with anybody, and I've got no time for people like that. You know, these people at a competition like this. Bearing in mind as well the competition that I'm talking about, the tables was already in the club. You know, there's no transport costs, there's no fitting costs or anything. I will say it because I'm not bothered, and I know Rob will appreciate me saying it, even though, you know, he's not the type to go out there and start saying it himself. But the logistics of staging an event in such a place like the Norbreck Castle, or any venue really, where you've got to transport tables and a lot of people just don't understand what it all entails, you know, the amount of work that goes into it. And for people like him who, in a way, makes a living out of pool, because he doesn't work. He sits on his bum all day, scrounging off the taxpayers. It's a bit disrespectful So the less said about him, the better. This is it's first to 3, Craig.
Right, we're back in the room.
Jason live from the Tsunami Shed. You know that's the place to be, Jason. The Calcutta King.
Mr. Hill.
Well, we've got We've got Mr. Calcutta and the Calcutta King. That's
the Lancashire Lip.
The Lancashire Lip.
Tell you what.
Did you like
them Calcuttas? I tell you, absolutely comedy value.
Well, Jason is absolutely he's mustard. He is mustard. I think he's got to be careful though. You end up with a coronary. He does get involved, doesn't he?
Yeah. Credit where it's due. It takes a lot of bottle to do that.
Well, he knows the players as well, so it does take a lot of bottle. You know, it's not easy to do.
I mean, if you think about it, he's sort of talking to himself because there's nobody there to give him any sort of feedback apart from the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously the people are bidding and stuff, so he's working off what people say on the bids and what comments they come off. And
it's good.
He's doing a great job, to be fair.
Yeah,
it seems to start obviously with Rusty Wheeler and what have you from Australia, but it seems to be getting bigger and bigger, these Calcuttas.
Yeah, they are. They're a good addition.
Popping up everywhere, aren't they?
I think we've just got to be careful we don't over flood it, because it is a good addition, and if it gets,
to be honest, I'd never heard of one before the Players one.
Well,
before it happened with the Players Lounge,
to be honest with you,
series and what have you, I'd never heard of one.
It was about 2 weeks before I was running the Northern Tour, and we was at the White Rose, and Darren Appleton messaged me and said, "Can I come?" And because I know he's not played 8-ball pool for a long time, I wasn't too fussed about somebody like Darren entering it. Not that I don't think he's a good player, because he's an absolute phenomenal player, but at the same time he did message me and he said, "You should do a Calcutta." And I thought about it, and I thought, well, I need to know that little bit more about him, because I hadn't heard about him, just briefly. So I wanted to know a little bit more about it, but we were so close to the competition, I thought I'll leave it for a week or so, and then within 3 or 4 days, Mr. Kendall had announced that he was doing his, and because he was doing his for the big competition, for the Players event, I just thought, if you do it now and it doesn't,
it's sort of like
so I just
stepping on toes sort of thing, and
so I just wanted to wait a while longer, which is what we did. But they're a great addition.
It just adds a little bit of something else. I mean,
bit of interest for people that's at home that's not attending or playing in the comps. Great addition.
I mean, there's nothing more I'd love to do than to play in every tour, every competition, but the jobs, so to speak, and the funds don't allow it half of the time. But the competitions that are out there now, the tours, the local tours especially, being northwest bound, they're fantastic.
I'm just going to touch on a couple of comments before we go back to the match here. You wasn't here, Dean, was.
All right.
Kevin Miles, has he mentioned
Mr. Calcutta himself.
Well, I'll say it because obviously he mentioned Mr. Webb there,
right?
And I know there's been a lot of talk about it recently, and this competition and the Golden 8-ball and what have you. And we was talking about the logistics and the cost of putting these competitions on.
Yeah.
And I did touch on the fact that the last competition that Seb ran at Murphy's,
was that the £200 one?
Yeah, there was £900 short of the entry fees of what was paid out in prize money. So it's obviously gone to admin and stuff like that, and he's got no running costs or anything like that. So, but he's so forward at slagging events like this off, and he does it himself. So I think it's a bit rich.
These days, and everything's got
to be.
Of course, it has. Accounted for.
So
people want to know where it's going.
I'm not shy to say things, you know that. You know. But I only speak the truth. That's the only thing you'll get from me. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. But I'll speak the truth, and that's the truth.
That's the thing with
some people don't like
being honest half the time, isn't it?
Some people don't like the truth.
No. Lee Dolan. Would you like us to talk about reds and yellows all night?
Yeah. Well,
but me and Wayne got on commentating, it's like going back to Coronation Street.
Isn't it? It's nice to have a bit of history anyway.
Of course it is. Might be some people on here that don't know a lot of old folklore that Mr. Pinder's been involved with.
I've been.
Anyway, Lee, did you know once he played Tony Drago?
We're not mentioning Tony Drago. I've played him once, and I've not lost yet.
Not a bad record, is it, pal?
No, well, quit while you're winning. That's my motto.
It was only at Tiddlywinks, like.
And that was at snooker, by the way, not a pool, snooker, because I know he's a pool player.
Tiddlywinks.
He's not been so well though, has he? He's been a bit poorly.
You don't need to apologise, Lee. Don't worry, mate.
No, you're all right. I don't take offence to everything.
I'm going to say he's Leon Reds, but he's lining the red up, so he must be.
Yeah, I don't think that squeezes through. He might be able to nudge the yellow out of the way with it if it comes off the one on the rail.
Dislodge it, sort of thing. If you sounds silly, but if you look at the actual table without the screen, it does look to me that it goes through there, that gap, to move the yellow on the left hand side away.
The Drago Slayer. Jason knows the score, doesn't he?
Yes, Mr. Hill. How are we doing, sir? Are we okay, Mr. Hill?
Has he still got his voice?
He's not got much of it left, that's for sure. Not after the last couple of weeks. Lancashire lip.
Might have to do a package. Nice little presentation, and Jason doing the Calcutta.
Yeah. He needs to get dressed up next time.
Well, he already looks like
more people will tune in.
He already looks like a clown. What are you on about?
I wasn't saying that way.
One minute. What's I think that's a comment from Miles before. Well, there's not many. I'm saying there's not many comps with shot clocks. Yeah, they do have them timed. Obviously, referees time this event when we get to the final stages.
So latter stages.
We get to the finals and they'll be on a timer. I don't know why really. When you get to last match.
Yeah, to be fair,
there's no point really.
To me, it's a lot of people are going to tune into the finals. Obviously, with it being live streamed,
and if you're in the final, you don't mind if it takes 2 or 3 hours longer even.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you're on a payday anyway.
You don't want to be rushed.
No.
In my opinion, 30 seconds might sound like a long time, but it's not. And you do feel rushed, and you might play a shot where you're not thought about it enough for yourself. But in my honest opinion, if you play a competition where there's no shot clock like there isn't now, and that's how it should stay.
Yeah.
And people should expect that it is an amateur competition on paper.
To me, I don't personally see the sense in like having a competition 5, 6, 10 rounds and then last round having a shot clock.
I understand it if you've got a stream constantly all weekend. If they was to do it on the stream tables all weekend, then maybe if there was to have a designated referee all weekend on these tables, then
we've tried it and
you could sort of understand it. But again,
it's not fair on the other tables.
You've got to man it. Yeah, it's not fair.
You can't have referees on every other table as well.
There's a lot of politics and there's a lot of arguments that you could have for shot clocks.
Yeah, it is best of fives. It's best of fives all the way through to I think the semis or the final anyway. I've not put it on because it's a new scoreboard I've got, and it was originally built for money matches. And when we get to the when we get to a winner, the scoreboard flashes all sorts of stuff. So I don't want that happening. So I've actually not captured the top little bit that tells you the amount of frames.
There's a bit of a count, obviously at the bottom. It's 1-all, but
yeah,
it's with it saying singles. Could you not put?
I could put race
in the text, if you will. I don't know. I don't know how it works.
It's not enough room.
Right, fair enough.
I can only get like a 8 or 9 letter word in there.
Or even just
I can get it at the top,
number,
but it's the top that shows you the frames as well. So
I don't know how you can change it, or if you can, but where it says
I'll
single,
get it
maybe
changed,
put a number 5 or
it's
something.
too late this weekend.
Fair enough. Good finish there from Glyn.
It was.
No problem, Dave. Yeah, Jack. Just basically going off what we said before about it being harsh, and there is 2 streaming tables over here in this arena. There's over 40 tables. So to put these 2 tables on a shot clock would be unfair to a ridiculous number of players, to be fair, because there's over, I think is it 128 teams for this comp?
Yeah, 128.
5 players per team. You do the maths. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, you know. So to put on the other 40 tables, if you will.
I suppose that the players could, but then not everybody has a mobile phone with them. Not everybody has a stop clock with
if you
them.
was to turn around and say, right, lads, when you're playing your matches, one person's got a time, one person's got to be a referee, then it just takes away the fun of the game for me.
Yeah.
And you do that at counter, you do that at competitions and things like that. You don't do it at competitions like this because you're here for the weekend, you're having a good time, and for me, I wouldn't put a shot clock on any match. And it might drag on, it might take a long time, they might work to timings, which they do in the pods anyway.
Yeah.
Obviously they've got 4 pods here, 8 tables in each, and they've got some tables down the middle as well, aren't they? Not forgetting
4
them
down
ones.
the middle.
4 down the middle. I weren't sure if it was 3 or 4.
38 tables plus 3 coin-op tables for practice on as well.
Tables, yeah. So what's that? Just 41, 42 tables.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not many places around here, to be fair, that could hold that many tables, is there?
No, there isn't.
If you look at it, this room's ridiculously big.
You can get more in here easily, comfortably.
Yeah, you could at least get
probably
another
10, 20 tables.
Yeah,
probably.
I'd say 10 comfortably.
Philip says this guy's no mug. Glyn is a very, very good player. Very good, and he's well capable of taking this.
Yeah. He's not played the best shot there, to be fair.
He hasn't. He's well capable of taking Lee out.
I don't know if that was any chance of telling us what round this is, Mr. Double D Donahue?
I think this is the last 32. I think it's the last 32.
Mr. Hill's had a drink tonight, you can tell. No worries, Jack.
And somebody touched on the fact that races to best of 5s is not really giving the players a chance. But when you consider over 200 entries in it as well,
it's a brutal format.
The format this weekend, you just couldn't play them any longer. Really, there's that many players want to enter.
It's absolutely brutal. But it does have to be because, I mean, the sort of time you're in your team matches as well, you get an hour of 45 for 10 frames.
A couple of years ago, there was about 400 odd entries in the singles. I think that was the Golden 8 Ball, wasn't it?
Do you know how many there was this year?
How many? What altogether?
Well, in this weekend's comp, do you know how many entries in the singles?
I didn't look. No.
No, I'm not sure. I just wondered if you did, mate.
I don't know because they did it in group stages first before the last 64.
Well, do you not reckon they cap it at like 256 maybe?
Well, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't ask them
right,
because we don't start streaming the singles until we get the last 64 qualifiers. So I don't really know.
Obviously, in an ideal world, 256 and breaking it down from there, you'd cap it. But for this weekend in this comp, not every team got 5 players, have they? They've got more. They've got
there's quite a few more.
Up to 8 players they can have. I know in my team we've got 7 players. Everyone answers individuals if they do it, and they know that the format is best of 5 throughout pretty much until you get to the final or semi-finals, like you said before. So they're paying their £20 to play in a brutal format, and without this many tables, you couldn't do it. Obviously with that many people, but the format is ruthless. For me, I would put it to best of 7. But then you're looking at another half a day.
I think they tried it one year and there was all sorts of delays in the competition. I'm sure about 3 or 4 years ago they did try and up the races.
But they never used to start it on the Thursday, did they?
No.
They used to start it on the Friday night.
Yeah.
So obviously they've had to pull back half a day,
But what is also introduced to this competition as well is the extra group stage,
which I think is fantastic.
which
Value
just gives
for
you
money.
more pool.
Yeah.
Gives you more pool before it's time to go out.
£100 for your team. If you've got a 5-minute team, £20 a man, and you're playing. Is it something like 48 frames or something minimum?
Like that. Yeah, something like that. And as much as it's a serious comp, and you know it's prestigious, everybody wants to win Bapto.
Yeah.
You know, it's still an absolute fantastic atmosphere here.
Yeah.
So relaxed. You know.
Here's a question for you.
I've seen your picture.
Who was the first team to ever retain the Bapto title?
I've got mine in there as well. And is that Darryl? No, it's John, isn't it?
Mr. Mercer.
John Mercer. Yeah, I'm in there. Who's the first ever team to retain it?
Yeah, I think I might be wrong in what I'm saying, but I think if I'm thinking of the right
there's two
facts, if you will.
Two Bapto committee members are here this weekend. Mike on top table.
But I think
and Bob Bateman, he's knocking about somewhere.
I might be wrong in what I'm saying, and people might be able to correct me. But I think the first team to ever retain the title was Norman's Elite in Rill.
Norman's Elite in Rill?
Yeah.
It'd have been long before that, I would have thought.
What, to win it and then win it again next year?
I think something like maybe Trent trophies or something like that. I can't remember, but there was a 2 or 3 teams back in the day that
right. Well, I thought it was them because I know there was a big uproar about the team that won it last year, the champions, coming back and retaining their title, and I'm sure that somebody, especially Steve Goff, who plays in Manchester.
I'll ask the summer. So I'll ask the Bapto.
Yeah, Steve Goff said I think at the time he turned around and said it was the first team that's ever done it. So I might be wrong. He might be wrong, but I'm going off what he said. You know what I mean? So and that was Rill, 2 years running, around about. You got to be 2012, 2013 maybe.
I'm not too sure.
Ian Simpsons, yeah, he's coming with Norman's Elite.
Let's have a quick look.
And that team consisted of Stephen Goff, Danny Evans, Paul Wood, I think, Paul Tickle. I know that the team manager, if you want to put it that way, was Mick Nichols. He used to have Norman's in Rochdale.
Let's have a look.
I think Del Redmond as well played for that team, but I might be wrong with Del. I'm not sure 100% if Del played for that team or not.
Archives.
These facts here, and I'm throwing them out, and it's probably a load of rubbish.
No, these only go back to 2000.
Have a look at that one, and let's see what it says. Well, let's see when Norman's Elite won it, and let's see. Team winners. Horseshoes. Winner was Ram or something like that. It says on that one. Where's that? What venue is that though?
That's
not real, is it?
No, that could well be Pontins in Blackpool.
Oh, Blackpool, yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Pontins, he was there.
I don't think it's open anymore, is it?
No, it's
long gone.
It is. Look, there you go, Pontins Complex.
Oh yeah.
That was a nice venue. That nice big venue.
That was the first time I ever went to this competition. When I was at Pontins in Blackpool.
It only goes back to 2006.
Right. Let's just check these 2010 to 2011. I'm sure Norman's Elite. Oh, that looks like a team with Jimmy Carney in it. Barking PC.
Norman's A semi-finalist.
Norman's A, yeah, that'll be Steve Goff and the likes. Runner up Paul Tickle in the individuals that year. That quarter final line up there. Jordan Shepherd, Ashley Bradford, Craig Lakin, Elliot Powick.
Jimmy Carney, semi-finalist.
Yeah.
Mark Priest.
Not a name I've not heard for a while, Mr. Priest. Paul Hagen. Very good player. You don't hear of him much anymore. There we go. Norman Snooker, 6'4". Yeah, there you go. So they won it in is that 2011?
Yeah.
So Steve Goff, Steve Beaumont, Danny Evans, Paul Wood, Dale Redmond, Paul Tickle, and the manager there in the middle, Mick Nichols. And then I'm sure that after that they won it again the following year. So obviously it would have been 2012, and I'm sure that they was the first team to retain it. So I might be wrong. I might be chatting a lot of gobbledygook here, rather than swearing. But
yeah, I think there'll be for the amount of years it's been going. I think there'll be a team somewhere
42nd, yeah.
That's won it twice on the trot, but you never know. You might well be right.
Red River won it last year. Not last year before, didn't they?
Yeah.
Did they get to the final?
They got to the final, yeah.
And then lost. Did they lose the final? Red River?
Lost the final, yeah.
So they won it and then got to the final and lost?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that's what happened.
So they've not won it twice on a bounce, I don't think, have they?
No.
Can anyone on the comments give us any inkling?
There's also the three-man team back in the day as well, that if you entered the three-man team, you couldn't re-enter it again for 3 years. So, obviously, nobody's ever won that twice on the
if
trot.
you won it, right.
No, if you'd entered it.
All right.
If you or if you'd entered any competition at Bapto, you couldn't enter the three-man team for 3 years, 2 or 3 years, something like that.
Let's have a look. Has anyone commented? Dean, the Bapto is going since you was spunk bubble.
Yeah,
thanks for that, Jason. Sorry, mate. I didn't even read. Should have read that before I read it out, shouldn't I? Scott Wall, good evening, mate.
Good evening, Scott. Oh, that doesn't go.
That doubles from there.
You think it doubles?
I think he's absolutely perfect for double, to be honest with you. Screw back the white to where it is now. Straight double into the bottom left corner. This is for a 3-1 win as well. Well,
he's in trouble now.
This is the last time he's going to see that red for a while.
Yeah.
If that's touching ball as well, it's even better.
He's asking.
He's asking the question. Do we need a referee to the stream table?
No, he's
agreed.
He's agreed to it.
Well, is it either agreed or disagreed, that's for sure. They don't ask for a ref. There's one Saturday though, if they needed one. So is it a rare occasion to not have a money match on the Thursday this time?
Well, we've had one for the last couple of years, and
I know there was one last night, but it wasn't on the stream, was it?
Yeah, well, because it's had a knock-on effect because the wagon didn't turn up on time on Monday, and then when it did eventually get here, the forklift truck that lifts all the tables and slates and everything else off the blew up. So we had to get the hydraulic pallet lifter and push them up the hill at the back of the building by hand.
Yeah.
I actually do, now you mention them. I do remember them. And I think top of the morning might have well been Tony Holgate's team. it's funny how things start coming back to you when somebody mentions it.
Yeah.
Tony Holgate was another one of the top players that's won Bapto in the past. But the London boys was very, very good at the Bapto rules.
Yeah. Is there any way we can get a shot of this crowd that's gathered around this match or not? There's quite a bit of a crowd around this match now.
Watching now. I'll just have to wait while Lee's taking his shot.
I think the words get out that Lee Clough's 2-1 down, first to 3. Ooh, that rattled a bit. He's not played that very clean, has he?
He hasn't, but he had to pull it back.
Yeah.
He's just got to drop this in now.
I don't think he's dead straight, which is ideal, to be fair. If he were dead straight, he'd have to leave himself a trickier yellow into the opposite middle.
Well, he wants a slight angle on the one into the middle because he wants to just drift it in and bring his white back for the black.
I think he can punch this through now for maybe 6 inches.
I'm just going to look see if that black goes in this corner pocket, actually.
Must do. Yeah, you can see from this angle on here that there's a gap between the red and the black.
Flies in.
I think he's come a bit far there. He's come too far. He's left himself a little bit awkward here. He's going to have to punch this in. If he's not dead straight, if he's got an angle to the left, if you will, then he's all right. He can just play it and come back naturally for the black. But
he is a bit straight. He wanted to be a lot higher than that.
He's got a bit of adrenaline to that ball, I think.
He's got to be careful now. He might have to pull this back, you know.
Yeah.
Which makes the shot a lot harder. We saw him earlier on trying to take one in the opposite middle, and he didn't quite get it centre of pocket, and it just rolled around the edge.
Is he looking at just dropping the yellow in now and leaving the white a little bit shorter than normal, or a little bit shorter than perfect, if you will?
Yeah, I understand, John. It's a bit hard to comment on a fudging frame sometimes.
What's he said there? So, I know Clifford is boring, but also awesome. But you can still comment on these frames as it's tight footing frame. A lot more exciting than a breaking dish. People out there need to see the other side of the game, and your knowledge should be helping them towards that. Stop streaming as always, but please help these guys that don't know the negative side of the game. Fair comment, yeah.
Well, I mean, every time Lee's on stream, I always, you know, he is an absolutely awesome player. He actually. When he's actually on a break, when he's decided what route he's going to take, more often, 9 times out of 10, he doesn't take that long. He takes his time thinking about the route he takes, and more often than not, he actually sticks to that route.
Lee takes more time. I'm just going to show you a bit of the crowd that's gathered here.
So it's a bit blurry. It's just because I've had to brighten it up because it is
2-2, first to 3, deciding frame.
There's 1 or 2 watching this.
So it's in the likes of John Mercer, and Keir Monaghan there, and Phil James. There is a decent crowd here. Oh, Lee's getting his break cue out. I've not seen his getting his break cue out yet.
Yeah, he won that on the Northern Tour. That's the one he won. He already had a break cue anyway.
Right.
But for some reason he couldn't get
I know
anything with it.
It's sponsored by Tiger, isn't it?
Sponsored by Tiger as well. So
yeah.
So yeah,
he's thinking about where to play this from. He's going for a cup break. I've never seen Lee Clough play a cup break.
That is his Tiger break cue, I think.
And he's using a break cue to play a cup break.
Yeah.
This surprises me from Lee. He's a bit tentative here for me. Yellow's in the middle. And it's not the best.
No, that white's stuck behind the red.
I mean, if he can get through to the yellow bottom left, furthest left, and play the red, obviously take the red, then they're all on.
Mr. Galloway's tuned in. Good evening, David.
It's just whether he can get through to the plant.
This is a final frame. Queen had a chance in the 4th to take the match, and then Lee come out with a very nice clearance.
I'm just wondering there whether Lee can get through to that bottom yellow, closest one to the bottom cushion, to play
plant,
to pot the red. Yeah,
I think he can. He's looking at it.
It couldn't have landed any more awkward for him, really, could it, off that break?
No. That's probably the best break he's had
red
today.
to red, I didn't see that one.
I don't know if you can see enough of it, can he? So
That's
see
what
what we
he's
can
looking
see
at
from
now.
that angle.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, maybe he can.
Yeah, he's definitely got half a ball there to play for, and he's disturbing the other red as well, which obviously he doesn't need to. But the red that's
Well, if
at the top of the triangle of the three, if you will.
He's going for yellow. If it plants easy enough, the
he's
reds are on.
containing, he can't play it. He's played a containing safety.
Yeah.
That does surprise me, that. I mean, all right, it's 2-all and a lot of pressure on the frame, but for me, he had to, if he could see a pot there, he had to get the
it may have been too thin, Dean.
shot in.
May well have been too thin.
Could be a re-rack.
Well,
not in these rules.
Neither of these two are going to be playing anything silly, are they? So
no.
This could end up being a re-rack.
Ladies and gentlemen, you need to tune into this one because this could be a long night. This could be a long frame. Get the cocoa ready. Craig Brown, no, it's not World Rules, mate, it's black ball. Oh, and as I said that, Patrick Hunt's told you it's black ball. Sorry, mate, I didn't see your comment, and then Patrick Hunt's beat me to it. Mark Grace tuning in. Is that the 9-ball player? Is it
No,
the same name?
that's Mark. That's Mark that got to the final of the Golden 8-ball singles this year.
So it's not the 9-ball player then?
No.
Have you seen that recently that they brought out an England team to play the USA as like a warm-up match?
Have they?
Yeah,
I've been saying that for about 4 years.
They brought out an England team, and if you look at the Moscone Cup teams for this year, for December,
So who's in the England team then?
Carl Boys.
Boys is in it.
Darren Appleton.
Mellin.
Mellin's in the actual team, so I don't think he's playing in the warm-up one.
Mellin's in the actual team? I thought he'd missed out.
Sorry, yeah, Jason Shaw got in the last spot, didn't he? Yeah, sorry.
Is Peach in as well?
Yeah, Darryl Peach, Chris
Happy
Mellin,
days,
Darren
happy
Appleton, Carl Boys.
I think they'll smash him. I've been saying it for the last 3 or 4 years because America's really that far behind us at the moment. You know, before people start losing interest in it, they need to come up with something different. I know they mentioned that they was going to do the Asia one versus America.
Yeah, I heard that. Like Philippines way that way online.
But the because they're that far behind at the moment, the Americans, I've felt for a few years now that the English lads could do just as much damage to the Americans as what the Europeans can. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, it's not our game, is it? It's not. 9-ball is predominantly an American sport.
And the Moscone Cup is held in America and in England.
Yeah.
So why do you need a European team? You know.
Yep, Dave McNamara it is first to free, mate.
So yeah, I'm glad about that. That's.
You might need a referee at this one.
In fact, I think I mentioned it on Chris's thread when he said he didn't make the team. Is that touching?
Lee just said it's touching, yeah.
We can't see from that angle, but
I just asked Lee then, and he said it's touching. Lee's on reds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Or is it? It's not still open table, is it?
It might well be.
I missed a couple of shots here.
Yeah, it might well be still open. I think it is still open. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2,
well,
4, 6.
Lee played the cup break, didn't he?
Still open.
He put in ball.
Yeah, nothing else has gone. Still open table.
So this is still from the break, if you will. Craig Brown open table. Cheers, mate. I'm glad you commented that.
Lee put the red off the break.
Right.
And sorry, a yellow off the break, and there's still 6 yellows and 7 reds.
Well spotted, Wayne. Could have somebody's tuning in and watching the matches.
Yeah. It's not like me to remember. I forgot like 1 shot ago.
Little tap on the table there from Glyn to acknowledge a good shot.
Yeah, I'm glad you've told me that. I'm happy about that now with the Moscone. England have got a team out.
So I don't think it's on TV. I don't think it's live.
Well, I think when you've got something like Mellin that's absolutely done a lot of air miles this year and not managed to get in the team, you know, it's a little bit unfair. You know.
Yeah. Oh, we just need to announce that
Are they going to
Both lads are going to the toilet here.
same time? Well,
So
quick toilet break.
Lee Clough and Glenn Crook are just having a little toilet break. They both need the little boys' room. So they've just gone for a tipple while they decide what shot to play.
And while you're tuned in, we will have some more cameras. I will. We will have some more singles matches after this one, so you'll get a notification anyway. Probably about 5 or 10 minutes break, that's all. But you'll get a notification when we come back. Thanks, Patrick, for that. I think this might actually be Darrell's first appearance in the Moscone since the infamous Earl Strickland incident, which I can fully understand why he felt so passionate, Darrell, at the time. I've known Darrell a lot of years. You know, he is passionate about the game, and he said a few choice words. I think, I'm not sure what year that was now, maybe 2011 or something. Good evening, Steve Wilson. I don't know if he's still in the room. He was in earlier, weren't he?
Yeah, he was,
Steve?
yeah.
Has he gone on? Is he still here, do you know?
He was earlier. I don't know, to be honest. I've not seen him for a couple of hours. He was here at the end of our matches before in the morning session, and I went for a bit of a kip.
I think he was going to try and get his lad in the one of the flyers.
Yeah. To be fair, his lad's a good up-and-coming player.
Is he? I've not seen him play.
Yeah, if he gets his head down and knuckles down and plays with the right people, which he is.
He is doing, yeah. Is Crowe still going in Ingle?
I mean, I've not seen him play for quite a while. And I know that Crowe's dad's still got a team in the Preston League. But I don't think they play from Ingle. I think they play from the Tom Finney, I think.
Has he? Yeah. I didn't know that. Not seen Mick for a long time.
Yeah, recently they've got the old faithful back together. So you're talking...
Mano Singh.
Yeah.
Ian Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, Ian Smith and... I said the old faithful. They sort of got two old faithful teams back together. But they're playing. One's playing from the Tom Finney. One's playing from Lostock Hall Legion. But in the Legion team, in Lostock Hall, it's Ian Smith, Rob Dodd, Mick Suthers, Mark Tomlinson.
I think Mick Suthers. Well, Mick Suthers used, if I remember rightly, used to play for the Eldon.
Right, I'm not 100%. I've only played it personally for a couple of years.
What's his surname? Blimey. Because back in the day, then when the Deepdale had a good sign, then they moved to the Eldon.
Right.
My Blackpool team used to play him regular for £1,000 a team, but then it was like it was a few quid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially them days.
30 years ago, it was a few quid. So yeah, and Andy couldn't play in the Preston League then because he was too young.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let him play, so I used to pick him up and bring him to Blackpool and play for my team.
They've got
when he was 11.
Are they some relation to Jason Shaw?
He's married to Jason's sister.
Right. I knew there was some sort of connection, but I wasn't 100% sure. I didn't want to presume, or I didn't want to say what it was, if being wrong, if you will.
Yeah, no, he's married to Jason's sister.
I knew there was some sort of
well, back to this game
connection.
Here, and I think he's gone a little bit too far with this. Yeah, he's a bit of rub here now because he's going to be kissing into this yellow, I think.
Well,
if he takes it one to the centre.
He's in a good
he's
position here. The only problem I see here for me,
the black.
obviously this long pot is not easy at all, but is the black. But on these rails, on these tables, they absolutely flying. He's deserved it. He's disturbed it, and it's gone safe.
It's gone safe.
That does not pass that yellow. He goes into obviously opposite corner, and the only thing is he's not going to be able to get to that side of the table now without playing a magical shot to get to. If he can get anywhere where the white is now, on that half of that table, past the black, if you will.
It depends how much of this. I don't really how much of this red you can
tell
see
from the angles.
Do you know you can see enough of this red? You can screw this back, you know, onto this side, left-hand side rail.
Really?
I think you can screw this back.
I think he'd be going into the black, if anything.
It's not that much of an angle. I think you can. I think you can pull this back to the left-hand side of that black.
So the yellow that's close to the pink spot, if you will, just below the red, I think that might be in the way. Depends what sort. We've gone into black. He's snooking himself.
Snooking himself.
Well, he hasn't, but he can't pot it.
I mean, you look where he's landed there, and he's hit that at some pace. If he'd have played that control, I think he would have been able to get that black a bit.
Before he plays this shot, call it. Does he go up and down for the black? Does he try a treble?
There's a shout for up and down.
Does he go for...
It's a natural angle as well. Does he
go for hitting hope?
I played this up and down me all day long.
What did he do? 2-all against Lee Clough in the last... Is it 32 or 64?
Last 32 this,
last
I think.
32. What do you do here, Wayne? Come on, call it.
I would go up and down, and he's looking at the up and down. You've got every chance of knocking that. It's a massive pocket, that.
To be fair to Glyn there, he's played a great shot. He has played a fantastic shot. I think, for me, they've got to look for a referee here.
I would ask for a referee.
Yeah.
It's up to Lee.
If he does go up and down, they've got to get a referee before they play the shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, Lee's going to go and ask for one.
I mean, obviously I'm sat here and I'm a qualified referee, but I can't call anything because it's not my cup of tea. I'm not here to referee, I'm here to commentate. But for me, if he takes this shot on, plus if he does go up and down, the pocket is massive. I mean, I've just stood up here to look at the actual table rather than the screen, and that yellow there, that's on the bottom cushion below the black, is making that pocket huge, and I mean huge. Referee's just on his way over now. Here he goes. Looks like he's going up and down, and it is a massive pocket. Let's just have a look. Referee stood right behind Glyn here for the closest view. He's played it dead weight. I would have played it harder than that. It's coming down. He's hit the black, and it's gone in off the yellow. I did say it was a massive pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
The yellow made it absolutely huge, and that was an absolutely fantastic shot. And Lee Clough goes out.
Reigning champion is reigning no more. We will have a new Bapto champion this year.
He might go and have half a lager now. Well, to be fair, what a great match that was, and what a great shot to finish it.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. You know,
Jason Hill, Dean, do you know any refs? I'm not too sure, mate. Do you know any?
What's that?
Jason Hill on the comments. Dean, do you know any refs? I'm not too sure, pal. Do you know any?
No. Yeah.
Let me know if you do. If there's any good ones out there.
So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back very, very shortly. I'm just going to find out who we've got next. I will stop the stream and restart it again. So you'll get a notification. Thanks a lot, Dean.
Cheers, Wayne. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
See you all very soon.